It's not often in hip hop where a rapper gives another fellow rapper props on a record while that rapper is still alive. I'm talking about Kendrick Lamar, and pretty much the only rapper he's ever respected enough to do something like this for, Nipsey Hussle. Now, if you haven't seen this Nipsey Hussle vid that I did, go watch it. It's not one of my videos with a bunch of views, but it's a great lyrical breakdown of Nipsey Hussle. And it's a perfect example of why Kendrick Lamar respected Nipsey Hussle enough to spit this verse on Dedication off of Nipsey Hussle's debut album, Victory Lap. Hey y'all, I am a one-man show. I record, edit the video myself, create the thumbnail, everything. So hitting like and subscribe does help a bunch. Thanks so much. Back to the video. And Nipsey Hussle is actually the only rapper I know, maybe you can post in a comment, but he's the only rapper I know where multiple other of his peers giving him props on record while he was still alive. It's not like Kendrick spat this verse after Nipsey died, or it's not like YG spat his verse about how Nipsey gave him so much game, He was like a big brother.
Hey, I remember all that game you taught me. Don't fuck around and get played by the label owners. And you be giving game like a big brother.
It's not like these verses came after Nipsey passed away. No, this was while Nipsey Hussle was alive. And this verse by Kendrick Lamar on the song Dedication, it's one of my favorite verses by him.
Dedication.
Got a really just cool, mellow West Coast beat. This whole Victory Lap album is fire. So Kendrick starts the verse off.
I spent my whole life thinking out the box. Boxing homies 3-on-1, got DP'd, but I ain't dropped.
I spent my whole life thinking out the box. Boxing homies 3-on-1, got DP'd, but I ain't dropped. Now this is kind of like a conflict in Kendrick's music that I've noticed. He has a lot of conflicts, contradictions, hypocrisies within his music that's just up to the listener to break down. And I think that's fine because Kendrick does not claim to be perfect in his music. Like a lot of times it sounds like he's conflicted about the world around him in his music. And this bar right here, boxing homies, 3-on-1, got DP'd, but I ain't dropped. Now I know what you sickos are thinking. DP'd, no, that does not mean double penetrated.
3 niggas in one room, first time I was tossed.
Get your mind out the gutter. What's wrong with you? DP'd, so this is like disciplined, and it's something that is synonymous with gang culture.
DP is basically for somebody that did something they wasn't supposed to do as far as in the street code, the gang culture, whether it's you turning down a fade, somebody asking you where you from, you saying you're not from nowhere, basically doing anything that go against the gang to make the hood look bad or make yourself look bad.
But in Kendrick's other music, he's talking about how he's non-affiliate, how I'm not trying to push a line, I'm just trying to push these rhymes. Kendrick is talking about how he isn't a part of that. But then in this verse, he's reminiscing like, yo, I got DP'd, you know what I mean? So I just always thought this intro was interesting because it's kind of in conflict with what Kendrick says in his other music about being raised in Compton, being a good kid, you know, not being affiliated, being a non-affiliate, you know, rather good kid in a mad city. Like in this bar, it kind of seems like Kendrick was a participant, you know, boxing homies 3-on-1, I got DP'd, but I ain't dropped. You know, I fought 3 guys, DP'd, pause, but they didn't drop me. I didn't get knocked out. Like I fought hard.
Chirp on me, here I come. Spin around the block, they blurted on me. Said I ran a stop sign, but that's a lie.
Chirp on me, here I come. Spin around the block, they blurted on me. Said I ran a stop sign, but that's a lie. So I think Kendrick is saying 2 different things in this bar. Chirp on me, here I come. It kind of sounds like he's talking about a Boost mobile phone.
Kanye, give me that beat.
You know, with the chirp that they had back in the early 2000s. Sounds like he got a call on his Boost Mobile, got a chirp, got a page, whatever the case may be. So someone called him, he spins around the block, you know, he goes to them. Then he gets pulled over by police. They blurped on me. They go to his window, sir, do you know why we stopped you? No. They said he ran a stop sign. Kendrick said that's a lie though.
I spent my whole life staring at the stage, playing Sega, daddy smoking Sherm, mama playing spades.
I spent my whole life staring at the stage. So I think this is a great bar because when you look at Kendrick's come up story, he was a hype man. He was not on for a lot of his early career. And even when the West Coast and the blog era started to take off, guys like YG from the West, Ty Dolla $ign, even J-Rock, Nipsey, Dom Kennedy, they all, even Tyler the Creator, right? They all got popular before Kendrick. This is something a lot of people forget. Tyler the Creator was on national TV before Kendrick even had an album out. Tyler was like already popular. So what I get from this bar is Kendrick saying like, yo, I spent my whole life like watching everybody else get on, staring at the stage, playing Sega, daddy smoking Sherm, mama playing spades. So I would say this is, just a, black household. I don't know about the Sherm part. I've never seen that, but in my childhood, yeah, we played that Sega Genesis. Yo, we was playing Sega Genesis and the PS1 was already out. When I originally looked at the original release date for the PS2 and the PS1, I was like, why was we playing Sega? I didn't know those things was out. Well, we was playing Sega and Super Nintendo up until like 98, bro. Like,
Catching vapors, grandma said I get some Jordans for my grades. That's my baby. When she died, my heart broke 100 ways.
Catching vapors, grandma said I get some Jordan for my grades. That's my baby. When she died, my heart broke 100 ways. So for anyone with a loving grandma who was in their life, you gotta feel this bar. You bring home some good grades. The education for the grandmas, for the loving grandmas, is so important. She gonna break you off something for some good grades. Whether it's some cash, whether it's some, for Kendrick it was Jordans. So that, for me that bar hits a little different because it just shows the love, a grandma's love. That's my baby. When she died, my heart broke 100 ways. That's facts. Facts. When I think about my grandmother, like if I think too hard about it, I can still cry about it. Like if I want to cry instantly, I just think about my grandma. So I love these bars right here.
Spent my whole life trying to make it, trying to chase it. The cycle of a black man divided, trying to break it.
I spent my whole life trying to make it, trying to chase it. The cycle of a black man divided, trying to break it. This is bars. And this is bars, but it's not like, it's not overly complicated, but he's saying so much in just these 2 bars. I spent my whole life trying to make it. He already mentioned up here, I spent my whole life staring at the stage. I'm trying to make it. I'm trying to chase this dream. The whole cycle of the black man in the hood, I'm trying to break that.
You take a lost shit, don't cry about it, just embrace it. Mine is setback for major comeback, that's my favorite.
You take a loss, don't cry about it, just embrace it. And that's that resilience that, so many of us have in our family. You take a loss, embrace it. Resilience that's built up over decades and decades. All these years and decades of resilience built up. And Kendrick, his lesson is that, you take a loss, you don't cry about this ain't what we do. Embrace it. It's a minor setback for a major comeback. That's my favorite. So Kendrick he's choosing to look at the glass half full. Like, okay, I took this loss. All right, that's cool. I took the loss, whatever, because this gonna make for a better comeback. This gonna make for a major comeback. That's what I like to do anyways. And so this is the part of the verse where Kendrick does something that I don't think he ever does again. He doesn't do this for one of his peers. He doesn't do this for a legend who he respects like a Nas or a Jay-Z. He does not do this for anyone except Nipsey. And in this part of the verse, Kendrick praises Nipsey. Let's take a look at it.
My nigga L said you do a song with Nip. K-Dot here better crip.
Kendrick says, my nigga L said to do a song with Nip. K-Dot, he a better crip. So Kendrick is referencing his friend, I believe his name is Young L.
That L when I met you, fourth grade maybe.
But this is like Kendrick's best friend for all intents and purposes. So Kendrick is having this conversation with L, and L is like, Kendrick, you gotta do it. You gotta do a song with Nipsey. Like, his crib and fly crib. He probably saying L is more so complimenting Nipsey's stature as a street guy, as a gang member. Like, we like how he does his stuff. On this part, on the street side, Kendrick stops L.
I said he a man first. You hear the words out his lips about flourishing from the streets to black businesses. I said
he a man first. You hear the words out his lip about flourishing from the streets and black businesses. So Kendrick stops L like, I'm gonna do a song with Nipsey, but it's not because he's a fly crip or he's a better crip. I'm gonna do a song with Nipsey because he's a man first, not a gang member. He's a man first. Like, you don't hear what he's talking about starting black businesses and crypto and all this stuff that Nipsey was on back then. Like, that's why I'm going to do the song with him, not because he's a fly crib. So Kendrick kind of corrects Young L's thinking right here. Like, you need to listen to what he's saying about this stuff. You respect him as a crip, but you need to, really listen to what he's saying in the messaging. That's why I'm gonna do a song with him.
Listen close, my nigga. It's bigger than deuces and fours, my nigga.
He said it's bigger than deuces and fours. So this is a reference to gang. So Kendrick is basically saying like, yo, I'm gonna do a song with Nip for these reasons, not because he's a better Crip. Like, yo, it's bigger than the gang stuff. Kendrick is still talking to his friend Young L. Yo, it's bigger than Deuces and Fours. It's bigger than the gang stuff. That's why I'm going to support Nipsey. Kendrick spins back. He says, yo, it's straight like that.
Get straight like that. I give you the game, go back to the turf and give it right back.
I gave you that game about how this man, Nipsey, is using his voice and his platform to better Black people, Black businesses. Now you make sure you go back to the hood, to our people, to the turf, and let them know this is the reason. It's not because he's a better Crip. Go back to the turf and give it right back. Yeah, I gave you that game. Go back to the turf, give it right back. Then Kendrick ends the verse. I love these last few bars.
For generations, we've been dealt bad hands with bad plans. Prove your dedication by hopping out Grand-Ams.
For generations, we've been dealt bad hands with bad plans. Prove your dedication by hopping out Grand-Ams. I gotta hit that.
Called motherfucking bars, nigga. You know nothing about that.
I like this because it's detailed, and it's so detailed, it's just so authentic. Look, it seems like Kendrick is more talking about the street life here when he says, for generations, we've been dealt bad hands with bad plans. Like, yo, we had bad circumstances, the Iran-Contra, Reagan era, slavery, Jim Crow. We were dealt bad hands, but there are also bad actors who were making it worse for us with their bad plans. And the way they made it worse for us is proving our dedication, whether it's to the streets, to our block, by hopping out Grand-Ams. So he's kind of like just talking about a drive-by, like prove your dedication by spinning the block on somebody. But he uses the word Grand-Ams. And I love this because for me, this is more a personal thing. We mentioned the grandma bars up here. Yeah, grandma said I get some Jordan for my grades. My grandma drove at one point a Grand-Am. And a Grand-Am, this is not even, I don't even think they make Grand-Ams anymore. So immediately when I hear this, I think of this like green, I think it was green, it was a long time ago, Grand-Am that my grandma used to drive, Pontiac Grand-Am. So it's so detailed because I don't think they make Grand-Ams anymore. So a lot of people is not even gonna know what he's talking about. Prove your dedication by hopping out Grand-Ams. He's talking about a drive-by. I'm at the premiere, politicking with Top Dog, Nipsey, and Snoop. Pac watching the way we grew from dedication. So this is just an entire praise Kendrick is giving Nipsey on this verse. So much praise that Kendrick is having a conversation with one of his best friends, stops the conversation, stops his friend mid-sentence to say, yo, forget about this street stuff. This is why I'm doing a song with Nipsey. This is why you need to respect basically Nipsey. Not because of that. It's bigger than Deuces and Fours. You ain't hear about him talking about flourishing from the streets and giving, you know, false imprisonment and donating money to that and Black businesses. That's what you need to focus on, is what Kendrick is saying. And by the way, I corrected you. Go back to the turf, go back to Compton, and let them know that too. This is why we need to respect him. Not because of, yo, K-Dot do a song with Nip, he a better Crip. I don't know a moment in Kendrick's career, any verse where he dedicates a verse to someone like this. And the song is called Dedication. He literally dedicates the verse to Nipsey. YG also does it on this same album, last time that I checked.
Hey, I remember all that game you taught me. Don't fuck around and get played by the label owners. And you be giving game like a big brother mission. Never let them take it from.
When you listen to these verses where YG and Kendrick, they're kind of paying tribute to Nipsey, it feels like a verse that will come out after he's already passed. But again, all these verses were while he was alive. So yeah, Nipsey, big figure in LA rap. This is like the only rapper. I mean, and Kendrick is arguably the GOAT. You just talk about everything combined, sales, tours, also just quality, mixtapes, you know, diss records, like everything combined, Kendrick is probably the GOAT. Kendrick bowed on this song to Nipsey. So, and yeah, I encourage everybody to go listen to this song. It's 3 verses. Kendrick is on the 2nd verse. And then right after this, Nipsey Hussle just spits a nasty verse. This ain't entertainment. It's 4 niggas on a slave ship. These songs is just the spirituals I swam against them waves with. Jeez. So anyway, yo, that's one of my favorite songs. When I first heard this Victory Lap album, this was my favorite song right off the bat. I saw Kendrick Lamar was gonna be a feature. I'm like, yes, I don't think Kendrick and Nipsey worked together before this. So I saw Kendrick is gonna be an album, and I hope it ain't just a hook or something. I hope we get a verse, and then Kendrick goes and spit this whole verse, spit my whole life thinking out the box. Box of homies, 3-on-1, got DP'd, but I ain't dropped. Fire. So yeah, this is probably my favorite Kendrick guest feature. And this is one of my favorite albums of all time, Victory Lap by Nips. So anyway, make sure y'all go watch that other video I did on Nipsey, where I'm going over his verse on Rose Clique or Rose Click, however you pronounce it. That's a fire verse. Again, not one of my, more popular videos, but that's one of my favorite videos I've done because I just love that verse and it's so vivid, so vivid. So anyway, that's all I got for today. Top5rapwebsite.com. Peace.